and welcome back to the Foreplay channel. I'm Bella.
I'm Jace.
And today we're going to share with you 5 reasons why you're not having success in the swinging lifestyle. Let's first start off by defining what success in the swinging lifestyle looks to us. To us, being successful in the swinging lifestyle is having a stable relationship where you're able to have things such as healthy communication, boundaries, and respect, all while being able to enjoy what the lifestyle has to offer with your partner and with friends. Just remember that open relationships can be a lot of work at times, and just because you may be struggling with one of the reasons below, it doesn't mean that you and your partner won't ever have success in the lifestyle. It's just a learning process, and that can lead to so many amazing experiences, but it definitely has a lot that goes into it. It's also worth mentioning that swinging isn't for everyone. Non-monogamy isn't better or worse than monogamy. It's just a different relationship structure. Even in the healthiest and most balanced relationships, non-monogamy isn't something that all couples should strive for. It works for some and doesn't work for others, and everyone involved needs to genuinely want it without any need for convincing. So moving on to reason number 1, lack of communication. Communication is the rock of all healthy relationships, but it's even more crucial in the swinging community. One of the main reasons people struggle in the swinging lifestyle is because they aren't communicating effectively with their partners or potential play partners. This can lead to misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and ultimately a lot of frustration. So what does good communication look like? It starts with being open and honest about your desires, boundaries, and any concerns that you might have. And this isn't just a one-time conversation, but it's an ongoing open dialogue. Our first tip is to have regular check-ins with your partner. This is where you discuss how things are going, what's working and what's not working. These check-ins create a safe space for both you and your partner to express your feelings and to make adjustments as needed. And during these check-ins, it's important to listen actively. This means really hearing what your partner is saying without interrupting or getting defensive, and then reflect back on what you've heard to make sure that you've really understand each other. Second tip is to set clear boundaries before any events or any encounters. Discuss what you're comfortable with and what's on and off limits. This ensures that everyone is on the same page, and it helps prevent any accidental boundary crossing. Clear boundaries can cover a range of topics, and that can go from physical all the way to emotional ones. And we'll go more into respecting boundaries a little later on in the video. Third tip is to be honest about your feelings. If something isn't going well for you, it's better to talk about it right away instead of ignoring it and letting it get any worse. Holding back can lead to resentment and can really damage your relationship in the long run.
The second reason you might not be having success in the swinging lifestyle is unrealistic expectations. This is one that we feel like a lot of, especially newer people, come into the lifestyle with. I think when we first got in, along with a lot of others, you think, hey, I'm just gonna make so many friends, we're gonna go in, we're gonna meet so many people that are our type, it's just gonna be so easy. And it's not always easy. Sometimes it can take a lot of time to find people that you really connect with. A lot goes into being able to share yourself and your partner with other people. And lots of the time you need connection, you need those things. And sometimes that doesn't happen quickly. There's a lot of different reasons for this. You know, sometimes maybe you meet a couple and you're really attracted to each other, but once you talk personality-wise, maybe you just don't mesh. You know, sometimes that happens. Maybe sometimes you and your partner are talking to a couple and you're into the other partner, but your partner's not into it. And we always recommend, don't ever take one for the team. That's never going to work out in a good result for anybody. And so one thing is just knowing it can take time to make these connections. Another part of that is maybe going in with the expectations of play happening. So just because you're going to the club or you're going to a resort or anything like that, it doesn't mean you're gonna find play partners. Just like in normal life, it takes time to make those connections, and maybe that trip or that time to the club, you just don't find the people that you align with. That's totally okay. What we say is we like to focus on enjoying each other. We like to go have a nice time together, and that way we know we're gonna have an amazing night. If you happen to meet some fun people and it turns into play, great, that's a bonus. But if you have that expectation of play is what's gonna make it fun or make it worth it, it's gonna let you down 9 out of 10 times, and you're gonna go home feeling sad and not connected, and that's not the point of what's going on with this. Another part of this is thinking that things are always gonna go smoothly. This is also just not true. Just like in a normal relationship, you're gonna have arguments, you're gonna have disagreements, and you're going to have to learn to talk about those, learn to communicate, which is part of what Bella talked about. But I think the idea of thinking, hey, it's just always going to go smoothly, we're going to be able to get through this without ever having disagreements, is just not realistic. Know that those things are going to happen, and in those times, use that communication, grow, learn together, and then you'll move past those things and be a better couple for it. But just don't think that it's always going to go smoothly, and that's okay. That's part of the growth. And one other kind of tip for this lifestyle in general is we always say that before we go out or whatever it is that night, we like to have a check-in with each other of what is our mindset for that night. Sometimes you may say, hey, we're gonna go to the club tonight and we want to go and we have no interest. Even if we met a couple we really like, we just don't want to play tonight. It's us going to have a nice time with each other. And sometimes we might say, hey, we're gonna go to the club. If we found people, if we see some of our friends, like, I would be open to playing tonight. It's good to have those open dialogues before you go in so that everyone has realistic expectations. And if one person's like, hey, I think it sounds really fun tonight, the other person says, hey, I'm not into it tonight. It's always better to go with a partner who says, I'm not into it, because it's not something you need. And so just make sure to keep those things in mind. So the third reason we're gonna say why maybe you're not having success in the swinging lifestyle is jealousy. So jealousy is a normal emotion. It is something that you are going to feel throughout your life, and it can definitely come into play in the swinging lifestyle. One thing to note is that the biggest thing is, it's not that jealousy is bad. It's whenever you don't work through jealousy that you're gonna have these problems. We'll put a video down below that we go into great detail kind of about our story, how we were able to overcome jealousy. And so if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about maybe how to overcome it, make sure to watch that video. We'll have a link down below. But the important thing is really that you are working through it as a couple. Like I said, it's normal to feel it, and there's a difference between that feeling of normal jealousy coming up and a toxic jealousy where it is extremely harmful to your relationship. And so it's one of those things where, like communication with Bella's first tip, you need to learn how to communicate how you're feeling, figure out where that jealousy is coming from, and figure out how to work through that together as a couple so you can move forward in a healthy way. And so just remember, jealousy is normal. We're gonna feel it from time to time, but you can work through it and you can be so much stronger on the other side.
Now let's talk about the fourth reason why you might not be finding success in the swinging lifestyle, which is a lack of respect for boundaries. This is a big problem that can make people feel uncomfortable, cause misunderstandings, and even hurt relationships. Respecting boundaries is absolutely essential in the swinging lifestyle. Everyone has their own comfort zones and limits, and ignoring these can lead to negative experiences for everyone involved. So what does it mean to respect boundaries? It just means being aware of and honoring the limits set by your partner and others who may be potential play partners. This can be broken down into 3 key tips. Tip number 1 is discuss boundaries clearly before any encounters. This can mean having an open and honest conversation about what each person is comfortable with and what is off limits. Having clear communication about boundaries helps make sure that everyone is on the same page. For example, 2 of our rules, which are super common in the swinging lifestyle, is using protection and being in the same room during play. Before we move on into any play, we'll talk with the other people we're with and ask what their rules are, and we'll also tell them what our rules and boundaries are. It's super common to talk about this beforehand, and it doesn't kill the mood or anything like that. It just enhances everyone's experience because we know that we're going to respect each other's boundaries before moving forward. And tip number 2 is use safe words and signals. Safe words are a word or sentence that you and your partner come up with together that can be used to immediately stop any activity if someone feels uncomfortable. And in addition to safe words, we use hand signals like an okay or a thumbs up, or we also mouth the words "you okay" with each other as well. We do these things throughout the experience and make sure to check in with each other so we know everything is good and that we're both having a good time. Sometimes you might think your partner looks uncomfortable, and you can use the hand signal or mouth the words to get reassurance that they're okay, and that's definitely happened to us before. Having these things ensures that you know how to quickly and effectively communicate discomfort during a play experience or even a date. One thing that's super crucial is if you're feeling uncomfortable for any reason, say something and stop that action right in that moment. It's always better to stop something that could be any kind of interpretation of boundary crossing than to push it away and regret it later. Tip number 3 is respect no without any question. If your partner or a play partner says no or uses a safe word, obviously stop immediately. There should be no pressure or attempts to persuade them otherwise, or doing anything that makes them feel bad for wanting to stop. Respecting a no is absolutely crucial, and there should be 0 tolerance for someone who doesn't respect that. It reinforces trust and safety within the group, making sure that everyone feels comfortable and respected at all times. In order to have success in this lifestyle, lifestyle, it's key to always follow the rules that you and your partner have set, as well as the rules for the whole group as well.
So the last reason you may not be having success in the swinging lifestyle is this fifth reason, and that is going to be not putting yourself out there. Now, we are not saying that if you are a shy, reserved person that you're not going to have success in the swinging lifestyle. What we're saying is that if you want to be having the best time, making the most friends, and having the most just fun experience with your partner and with others, putting yourself out there is going to be a huge step in the right direction. So yes, if you are a reserved couple, you're scared to go up and say hello to people, it's okay. You will find your time, you will find your people, and you will have amazing experiences. But from our experience, once we started putting ourselves out there more, our lifestyle journey completely changed. We were very shy, very reserved, and one day we said, you know what, we don't want to let the night dictate how our night's gonna go and let others dictate how our night's gonna go and just hopefully someone says hello to us. We wanna dictate how our night goes. And we started doing that, and since then, everything has flourished. We have made more friends, we have had more amazing experiences, and we cannot more highly recommend putting yourself out there. I know it can be a really scary thing to do, but it's one thing that we think is worth it over and over. The more you learn how to approach people, it gets easier and easier with time. And so it's one of those things where it's a learned skill, so we highly recommend it. I would also recommend being your authentic self. Being whoever you are going to find the right people. You're going to attract the right people to yourself. I remember at the beginning, I felt like I was scared to really dress up on theme because maybe as many guys weren't dressing up on theme at that time or whatever it was. And I felt like I was hiding a part of who myself was because I didn't know if I'd make friends. That's not the case. You are going to be your authentic self, and you are going to find the people that are your people, and because of that, you're going to make deeper and better connections. So another tip with that is that not just going up and saying hello to people, but being your authentic self and not changing who you are for others is going to make a huge difference in your journey. It goes along with all of this, but if you're also not going out regularly, it's going to be more hard for you to find those connections. So, you know, if you only go on a date one time every 6 months, or you go to the club one time every 6 months, you're gonna have a slower journey. And once again, that's totally okay. This is all person to person. But if you're wanting to, you know, get really involved and you're wanting to have the most success in your lifestyle journey and the most growth and the most connections and most friendships, going out more and putting yourself out there more is gonna be a way to move along faster. So, you know, maybe go to those parties whenever you're like, ooh, should we go this weekend? Go for it. Go and make those friends, make those connections, put yourself out there, go on the double dates. It's just really going to be great. Also, do not be scared to not go to an event or whatever because of I'm too this, I'm too that. You know, don't be scared if you think you're too old or you're too young or you have this body type or this body type. None of that matters. The lifestyle is very accepting, and there is so many people from every different diversity type thing you can think of at these places, and that is what's so amazing. It's such a welcoming group, and everyone is welcome there. And so don't be scared because you think you're too this or too that. You're not. You are perfect for the lifestyle just the way you are. And so I would highly recommend, if those things are making you nervous, push past that, and you will go to these places and you will see, you will find friends. And just know, like we said, sometimes it takes time to make those connections, but that is normal, it's part of the process. So just put yourself out there and you're gonna have so much more success in your swinging lifestyle journey.
Okay, so there you have it. 5 reasons why you might not be having success in the swinging lifestyle. Just remember, if you're struggling with any of these issues, it doesn't mean you can't work through them and have a better experience. As long as you and your partner want to be in this together and are willing to put in the work and effort, it can work out in the end. Just keep working at it, and with time, you will overcome these issues and be so much stronger on the other side.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Have you guys struggled with any of these things? Was there any other things that maybe was an issue for you that you were able to work through? Drop that down below so maybe other people can learn from that. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss when you post a video, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!